Welcome back, my dear students. Today, probably, we will be having the last session of the practical programs. So, in the previous class, we had discussion on the programs, that is C++ programs, lab programs, the push and pop operation, and also we discussed how we can create a pointer to an object, how with the help of a pointer how we can access the members of an object. So today's class we will be discussing the NQ and DQ operation, and also we will create a singly linked list. So Q. Before discussing NQ and DQ operation, let us have a look of the queue. So in our day-to-day life, many places we have seen queues. So maybe in front of the movie theater where the tickets are issued, and in train stations or railway stations or airports where the clearance of passport is done or tickets are issued. So as you can see in the example, the person who is standing at the front will be the first person to go out of the queue. And also any person who is joining, they will be joining at the end of the queue. So here if person 1 is standing at the front and person 20 is standing at the last, person 1 will be the first person to get out of the queue, and also a new person, if person 21 wants to join, they will be standing after person 20. So this is the arrangement of queue. A queue where as we see, the first person standing in the queue will be the first person to go out, and any person joining will be joining towards the end. So the person who is going out, that position is called front end of the queue. Any person who is joining at the last and that point or that end is called rear end of the queue. So we can conclude that in a queue, the items are deleted from the front and the items are added to the rear end of the queue. So for example, so we can see in the queue there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 5 and 3. If you want to add the element 10, it will be added after 3. And if element has to be deleted, and the element deleting will be 2, that is the element at the front end. So we can say that the elements are added at the queue and that end is called rear end, and the elements are deleted from an end called the front end. And also queue, the person who comes first will be the first person to go out. So here we have front. Front item 1 is always pointed by front, and item 5, that is the last item, it is pointed by rear end. NQ means adding and DQ means removing the elements from the queue. So NQ is adding an element. Where do we add? We add an element to the rear end of the queue. Similarly, DQ operation. When we delete an element, we delete an element from the front end of the queue. And the last position is called rear end. So where the items get added. See, let us have a look of the example here. So we have, imagine A, B, C and D. There are 4 elements. So the front is pointing to 1 and the rear is pointing to 4. Now we are adding E. E is the new element to be added or NQ'd, and you can say E comes after D, that is 4 position plus 1, that is rear is equal to rear plus 1. So rear was 4, 4 plus 1 is 5, and then E is added to the rear end, that is 5th position. So similarly, when we delete an item, so here imagine in the previous example we had front was pointing to 1 where the item A was placed. Now we want to delete an element, that is we want to perform DQ operation. If I want to delete an element and the item deleted will be A and front will point to B. So let us check the next example. So here you can see item is equal to Q of front. So front is pointing to A will come to item, front is equal to front plus 1. So front will point to B. So front will become 2 and rear will be, there will be no change in the rear because rear changes only when we add the element. So or when we perform NQ operation. Front changes only when we delete an element. So let us see the algorithm for insertion operation or NQ operation. So step 1. If rear is equal to n minus 1, n is the maximum limit of the Q. If Q is created for 5 elements, n will be 5. As the count starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Totally there can be 5 elements starting from 0th position up till 4. So we are checking if rear is equal to n minus 1. N is the maximum size of the array. So as we know that always the last element's index will be n minus 1. So we are checking if rear is equal to n minus 1. N is the maximum size. So if rear has reached maximum size, then the Q is full. There is no place for the new element to be added. Next, if front is equal to null, that means a front will be null only when there is no elements or when Q is empty. Then as now we are adding the new element, we are making front and rear as 0, 0. If there is empty Q, we will make front and rear to point to 0, 0 because 0 will be the index of the first element in the array or Q. Else rear is equal to rear plus 1. So we are incrementing rear and then we are adding the element to the rear end. So let us see the deletion or DQ operation on the Q. So DQ operation, we will deleting the element. Whenever we delete the element, we increment the front and the element at the front position will be deleted. So we are creating a Q for 3. The Q size is 3. That means our Q can hold only 3 elements. So more than that, it will be a overflow condition. So you can see here we are creating a Q with Q size. So Q size, as the Q size is 3, as Q size is 3, so now Q size is 3, we are creating a Q with Q size. That means we are creating a Q with 3 size. If you want more, you can change this number. Instead of 3, you can give 8, 10, whatever you want. Then we are taking front and rear. Front for the deletion purpose, rear for the addition. Count. Count will tell us the total number of elements present in the Q. Then we are taking one constructor Q. Then we are using NQ and DQ. NQ will insert X to the Q. DQ will remove the element from the Q. Then we have get size. Get size will tell us how many elements present in the Q. Let's get started and check each of the functions in detail. Let us begin with the constructor. So as you can see here, we have a constructor. Okay, and then we have NQ, then we have DQ, and we have get size. So NQ will initialize front and rear to -1. So whenever a new queue is created, the front and rear will be -1, which indicates the empty queue. Then the purpose of NQ is it adds a new element. DQ removes the element. Get size will tell us the total number of elements present in the queue. Let us check the constructor, that is Q. So Q, as we know that constructor is a member function which will have same name as the class name and it initializes the object. So whenever a object is created, automatically a constructor is called. So whenever we create an object for Q, a constructor gets called. So front will become -1, rear will become -1 and count will become 0. As soon as you create an object for Q, front will become -1, rear will become -1, count will become 0. Why? That is because the queue is initialized and a empty queue is initialized. Initially means starting. Queue will be empty. Later on we will add the element. So to create a empty queue, we are initializing front, rear to -1 and count as still now we have not added any elements, it will be 0. As soon as you create an queue, there will be no elements, so it will be count will be 0. After adding the elements, count we will increment. So let us check the NQ function. See, NQ function we are checking the rear. If rear is equal to queue size is 3. 3 minus 1, that is 2. If rear is equal to 2, rear starts from 0, 0, 1, 2. If rear has reached 2, that means queue is full because we are creating a queue for maximum size of 3. If rear has reached 3, that means 3 minus 1, 2. That is the index starts from 0, 0, 1 and 2. That means there are 3 elements. So we print queue is full. As the queue is created for only 3 elements, there will be no more elements added. So we display a message saying queue is full. Otherwise, we are checking if front is equal to -1. As I told you earlier, whenever as soon as the object is created, front becomes -1. So now we are adding a element. -1 position we can't add because front and rear is -1 as of now. Because whenever as soon as the object is created, front and rear will become -1. So we will not be able to add any element at position -1. So what do we do here is we make front and rear as 0 and then we add the element. Otherwise, so imagine rear is not -1, front is not -1, front is some say 0. That means already there is one element. Now what we will do is we will increment rear. So rear was 0, 0 plus 1, it will become 1 and then we will add the element. Then we will increment count plus plus. That means we have successfully added one element. So to indicate the count, we are incrementing count by 1. Let us see the DQ function. So DQ function, first we are checking front is equal to -1. If front is equal to -1, queue is empty. Okay. So we will not be able to delete any elements from a empty queue. As there are no elements in the queue, we will not be able to delete. So we return, control returns. Otherwise, queue of front is equal to X. So we are deleting the element which is present at the front and then we are taking that element to X. If front is equal to rear, that means front and rear, if both are equal, that means there are only one element. So that is we are deleting. Therefore, we are making front and rear as -1. Otherwise, we are incrementing front and we are telling count minus 1. Why count is decremented by 1? Because we are performing DQ operation. So, after performing DQ operation, one element will be deleted. Therefore, the count is decremented by 1. So, the next function is get size. So, get size will tell us how many elements present in the queue. So, if you want to know, so how many elements are there, or we want to find how many more elements to be added, what is the space left in the queue, we can use the get size function. Get size function. So, here we will check the count. If count is greater than 0, okay, then we are printing the elements. If count is less than 0, then if this condition becomes false, we are printing queue is empty. As there are no elements present in the queue, we will not be able to print the elements from the queue. So, get size if count is equal to count is greater than 0. Imagine count is 2. So, this is true because 2 is greater than 0. That means there are 2 elements in the queue. So, now we are starting from the element that is I is equal to front until we reach rear. So, front will point a position from the starting element and we continue until we reach rear. So, we are printing each element one by one. So, we are giving end L because after each element we want to print a new line. Like this, the elements are printed one after the other. So, execution always starts from main, and in the main we are giving the options such as 1 NQ. NQ means adding the element, 2 DQ, that is deleting the element, 3 printing the data, that is get size function, then 4 is exit. We are asking the user to enter the choice. See, when we are creating queue, so here the constructor is called. So, when the constructor is called, front rear will become -1 and count will become 0. As soon as this statement gets executed, so as soon as we create the object, that is we create a object queue of queue, so the front rear will become -1 and count will be initialized to 0. And then we are giving the choice 1 for NQ, 2 for DQ, 3 for print and 4 for exit. So, we are asking the user to enter the choice. Let us continue the program and see so how it works. Choice we are giving, if choice is 1, okay, then we are accepting the item, the data item, and then we are calling NQ function. So, we are calling NQ function. If choice is equal to 2, we are calling DQ function. NQ will add an element, DQ will delete an element. Then if choice is 3, that means we want to display, then we are calling get size function. If choice is 4, we say thank you and then we exit the program, we end the program, terminate the program. Choice, if it is more than 4 or less than 1, then we are printing invalid choice and then we end the program. Let us check out the output of this program, that is NQ and DQ. Let us see what output we are getting after the execution. Say choices 1 NQ, 2 DQ, 3 print Q, 4 exit. Enter your choice. Choice is 1 and enter the item. The item given is 10. 10 is successfully inserted. Again 20 is inserted. Again 30 is inserted. As maximum size we have given is 3. Now again choice is 1. 40 cannot be inserted because queue is full. The maximum size what we have given here is 3. So we can add only 3 elements. So now the choice is 3. So choice 3 means we are printing the contents of the queue. So queue has 10, 20 and 30. So now choice is 2. That means we want to delete the queue. So the first element added is 10, second is 20 and third is 30. So as in stack, first 30 will be deleted, but it is queue. In queue 10 will be deleted first. Again 2, 20 will be deleted, and then the last element deleted will be 30. So this type of ordering is called FIFO, first in, first out. The first element added is the first element to be deleted from the queue. So now as we have deleted all the elements, again the choice is 2. So there are no more elements to be deleted, so we are printing queue is empty. So enter your choice. Again choice is 3. Again queue is empty. There are no elements to be displayed. So here choice is given 5. 5 is an invalid choice. Choice given here is 4. 4 is for exit. So the program exits. We terminate the program. So let us see the linked list. So linked list, there are number of nodes. Each node has 2 parts, the data and the link part. Let us create a program where we will use a single linked list. Class linked list, we are creating a node. Node has 2 parts, data and the link. And we have a constructor, we have a print, append and count. Linked list will initialize, we are using a start pointer. So start indicates or start stores the address of the first node. So linked list is the constructor, print will print total number of nodes present, append will add new node, count will tell us how many elements present in the linked list. So here you can see the constructor which will initialize start to null. So why we are initializing start to null? As we know that constructor is executed whenever we create a object. As soon as we create a list, we initialize start to null. As start indicates the first node, as there are no nodes in our linked list, we initialize first start to null. Later on we will add the list nodes required. Print, if start is equal to null. If start is null, that means start stores the address of the first node. If start is null, it indicates the empty list. There are no elements. Otherwise, we are taking start to temp and then we are printing the data from there till we reach the last node. So node is equal to start. So that means temp is equal to start, and then temp till temp becomes null, because the last node link will always be null. Null indicates the last node. Till we reach null, we are printing the data and we are moving the temp forward. That means as we know that there is address or the link to the next node is stored, and that we are taking to temp. We move this temp to the next node until we reach null. So likewise we print all the elements. Let us see how we can create a new node and then we can add a new node. So new node, we are creating a new node and then we are adding the data and we are making link as null. Now let us see, after a node has been created, that node has, say we have a node, it has 2 parts, the data and the link part. So data, some value we are storing, and link we are making it as null. A new node has been created. Now we will see how we can append or we can add the node. See, first we will check If start is equal to null, the new node itself will be the first node. So we are checking if start is equal to null, we make the new node as the first node and we print the node is inserted at the first node. Otherwise, we will make the pointer to move to the last. That is, node temp is equal to start, temp of link not equal to null, and then we are making the new node point to the temp. Like this, we are adding the node at the end. Count. So count will tell us the total number of nodes present in the list. Count is equal to 0. We are taking temp. Temp is pointing to start till temp reaches null. When does temp becomes null? When it reaches the last node. As I told you, the last node link is always null. So we are incrementing count plus plus. C was 0. Each time when we get a node, we increment it by 1. So finally we will get the total number of nodes present by checking the C. So as you can see here, we can create, execution always starts from main. We are creating a new object, then we are printing. When we print, as there are no more elements, list will be empty. Then we will append 10, 100, then we are printing. Again count will be 1. Then we are appending 200, that means we are adding 200 and we print, there will be 2 elements, count will be 2. Then we are adding 300 and then we are printing. So there will be 10, 100, 200 and 300, count will be 3. Let us check out the output of this program. So the output of the program we will discuss in the next class. So hope you have understood today's topic, that is, we created a program where we performed the NQ operation and DQ operation. NQ operation is adding a element to the front end of the queue. DQ operation is deleting an element to the rear end. So DQ operation means adding a element to the DQ operation is deleting an element from the front end of the queue. NQ operation is adding a new element to the rear end of the queue. So hope you have understood this. In case if you have any doubts, kindly note down and kindly log in to the Zoom meeting which has been scheduled, and the schedule will be displayed in the website. Log in to that. In case if you have any doubts, you can have a discussion and we can help you to clear those doubts. Hope you will do fine. All the best, my dear students. God bless you all. Thanks for your patience listening.